Well, I'm going to share with you a little bit about Seagate and what we think about data growth and why we're partnering with Cloudian. So you can ask questions and hopefully it'll be exciting and fun. So we are at Seagate. In 2025 is going to be 175 zettabytes of data created. It's compared to 2016, where there was 16 zettabytes of data created, and compared to 1970, where, can you guess how many zettabytes or terabytes of data were created? 16, very close. There was under 10 terabytes of data in the whole world created before 1970. So things have changed a little, and they're going to change even faster. So we did a report with IDC, we call it Data Age Report, and we looked at where all the data growth is going to come from. If you think about the way that storage has changed and the IT world has changed over the last 50 years, we started with the mainframe. Then we moved to our PCs and everything got a bit bigger, and the Dell HP PCs took over the world when we built our 2.5-inch disks, which went really fast and everyone loved them. And then about 10 years ago, these big behemoths came into the world and they started creating centralized clouds. And what they did is they changed the paradigm of storage. They took what we originally built as big, large array enclosures, vertically stacked, and we built them big and wide, and they changed the TCO, how much it costs per day. They changed the pricing to upfront X dollars to you can charge per day for storage and compute and all those good things. And they changed how people perceived a storage or IT enclosure should be built. And they came to us and they said, you know, we're going to build it on your consumer drives because they're the cheapest. And we said, well, don't do all that. Let us build devices that are big and dense and the best price we can give you, and but you can build your cloud on them. So we're working really closely with all the cloud guys and building out their huge exabytes of cloud. But what we see in the future is for what we're calling 4.0, when data is no longer created by you and I. It's not pictures being uploaded to the cloud. It's not Netflix being streamed out to our homes. It's machines talking to machines. So the latest estimate I saw was about 300 terabytes of data created a day per each car. And I just read some stats here that when we get to 8K video, we go 16 times the amount of data. So a feature film today is about 10 terabytes. That'll go to about 160 terabytes when we go to 8K. So the data explosion being created by machines, machine learning, and machines talking to machines is going to be incredible. So what are we doing about that? Well, what we Seagate are doing about that is we're focusing on how we can get bigger density per drive. And we're doing that using a technology called Hammer, and I'll show you a video in a moment. That's at the device level. The other thing we're doing is we're making sure that as you get these huge drives, you can talk to them faster. So where we had a single path into the drives, we're creating multiple paths into the drives, which makes it, if you like, more IOPS per capacity. And the other thing we're doing is we're focusing on getting it to the best price possible through all our engineering expertise. I'm going to show you a quick video about Hammer because it takes us to the next level of engineering design, if you like. So for those of you that are engineering and technology minded, this is kind of how a drive works. It has a strip or where we write to, essentially. And this is, we've shrunk it down and down and down, and so we've met the minimum width of a track that we can get to. So we said, damn, everyone's going to keep making data. We're going to make disk drives bigger. So we went back to our labs and we thought, okay, how can we do this? Lasers. So what we do is we take a laser and we heat up the track. And what that is it's like when you blow up a balloon, you can write on it, but when it shrinks down, the writing's much smaller. So the challenge is really around when we write to the track, we need that bigger space. So when we write data to a track in a drive, it heats up that track, makes it wider. So now we can get above 16 terabytes per 3.5-inch drive. We're planning on, in about 10 years, getting to 60 terabytes. But next year, we plan to be at 20. So it's pretty exciting. So what does that mean for today? I've talked about the data being generated by video growing and increasing as we get to 8K video. But also, what the cloud has shown us is that as you guys I'm sure know that deal with data, is you want your data to be accessible, you want it to be all in one place where you can see it, even if it's spread across the world, and you want it to be very fast and accessible in the speed that you need it, so very latency sensitive. So what that means is that whereas we partner with people who have taken all the cloud technology of spreading everything out, making it big shared storage pools, making it cloud-like on-prem, we see the Cloudians of the world bringing that capability to you guys, putting everything in a place where you can get and access that data locally. When we look at a day in the life of some of you guys, I'm sure you can tell me about it, but we see that things are captured right at the endpoint, and we have our lovely Lassie devices. You can go check out our booth over here that can capture and ingest by themselves. They're getting pretty great. We've also got drone drives out there. But then when it comes back into post-production, the key is being able to access your data faster. So what we're calling private cloud or cloud at the edge is really a combination between having density, performance, and really good software to manage and give access and securely to your data. The right people getting the right data. You don't want other studios coming and grabbing data. You don't want someone who going and deleting 10 days worth of shooting. It's the worst thing that can happen in your world, right? So that's where the Cloudian expertise complements our big dense storage and gives you the capability to manage those large pools of data. So I promise to keep this short and sweet and leave room for questions, but that is why we're partnering with our friends here at Cloudian, putting software on top of our big 4U enclosures. We can now get 14 petabyte in a 40U rack, so the density is getting pretty crazy. Lots of room for you guys to make lots of great movies, and we really do believe that as data grows, it moves from the centralized cloud in a cloud-like fashion out to on-prem, where you guys can all use it, manage it, and create great movies. So, any questions?